I won't try that.
Oh,
tie-in.
you're not going to try to tell them that we're color-coded for this?
We just got out of Power Rangers. Not Mighty Morphin, but...
It was essentially Mighty Morphin.
Essentially.
Yeah.
I was denied my childhood a little bit and not allowed to watch Power Rangers, so I'll let the Power Rangers fans talk first, and then I'll talk about the movie.
I guess we'll start with the one that wore the actual Power Rangers shirt.
Yeah, so...
I honestly really liked the movie. Like, being a fan, like, yeah, there were some definite differences. Then again, the TV series it's really cringy to watch now that I'm an adult. Like, it's super cringe. It had to showcase, like, yeah, there's a bit of cheesiness to Power Rangers, but the movie was aware of it, and it definitely, like, wasn't afraid to poke fun at its own tent poles, if you will.
And it wasn't, the jokes weren't, like, eye-rolling, like, oh god, like, they were well placed, I felt like.
Yeah.
It really did feel like they took just one of the old episodes of the show and just kind of blew it up.
Yeah.
Let's make a 2-hour version of the...
I personally really liked it. It was a bit cheesy at times, but I feel like that's kind of what that's what the Power Rangers are.
You know what you're getting.
I feel like they chose the actors pretty well. I felt like the girl who played the Pink Ranger looked incredibly like, what was her face? Amy Jo Johnston or Johnson or whatever.
Yeah.
I think my biggest issue was I wasn't a huge fan of Rita. I don't know if you guys... And I love Elizabeth Banks. I think she's great.
I liked what they tried to do. Like, they wanted to make her a more villainous villain rather than a comedic one, like how she was in the show.
Yeah.
But I think they missed the mark.
Yeah.
I felt like they did a good job with the main cast, the 5 characters, gave them all decent backstories and allowed them to develop their characters. Like, it wasn't just, well, I'm the jock and I'm the nerd and it's like they started with that and you kind of branched out from there. And
They also didn't do that incredibly racially insensitive thing about making the Asian yellow and the black one black.
But I felt like as much work as they did into developing the Power Rangers characters themselves, I felt like they didn't do that much with Rita.
No.
I feel like, because, I mean, anytime, and this is the thing with a lot of superhero movies, it's not a superhero per se, but it's an example.
But they keep saying, we're superheroes.
When you have a villain and the only thing you could say about them is, she's totally evil. It's like...
And there was so much room for them to give her more backstory.
Because you could tell they were trying, because with... Yeah, I felt like she was a little underdeveloped. And they did play off the thing of like, yes, these kids just now learned how to be Power Rangers.
Yeah.
I think it's kind of the thing that you have to go with. It's a movie based off a kid's TV show.
Yeah.
I will say one other thing that I thought about just watching the movie altogether, the idea of scope a little bit. Like the first time you see the Zords. Am I saying that right? The Zords?
Yeah, Zords.
Okay. It should be that kind of Jurassic Park moment where it's kind of awe-inspiring and it's towering above them. It was really somewhat rushed just to lead into the whole... And they kind of touched on it more with when the Megazord came together. Not spoilers because it's in the trailer.
Yeah.
There were moments that they could have paused a bit to like let it breathe, but they kind of were more about the quicker pace. And final thoughts, everybody. Taryn.
I actually would go see this again in theaters.
Okay.
Like not just because I'm a huge Power Ranger nerd, but because I think this is honestly a pretty good action movie and better than maybe some of the other movies we've seen this month.
Okay.
If I were to give it a grade, I'd give it a B-. There were a lot of things that I thought were very good about the film, but there were also some things that didn't make a lot of sense to me. Some weird cuts, some weird jumps in the timeline.
Logical things.
Yeah, like why are they there now? Science. What just happened?
I'd probably give it a B- as well. My thing was the writing. And there were just some issues with the writing that, especially again, not to touch on Rita's character again, but like her writing I felt like was just terrible.
It's almost like they wrote the script bare bones and then they said, okay, let's get somebody to come in and polish up the Rangers. And then they said, well, we need to polish up her. We don't have time. It was better than I expected it to be. And so I definitely recommend go watching it in theaters because hope you guys go check it out if you got some time this weekend or next weekend. But we'll catch you next time. Later.